Hello once again, it's Johnny and I'm here with Pip Piper to talk about yet another project that we are funding. Pip, great to have you here.
Great to see you, Johnny.
Great. Now, all of the artists that we fund, or that we're involved with at all in Sputnik, are legends, or legends in the making. But Pip, I would say personally from me, is a particular legend and has been someone has been and does continue to be an inspiration to me in my practice and all we do at Sputnik. It's a massive pleasure to be able to support his latest project. But again, as it often in these interviews, aware that many of you would never have set your eyes on this handsome man before. So Pip, could you introduce yourself to us all?
Well, that's a very nice introduction, Johnny. You're a legend yourself. I am, I'm a filmmaker. Previous background in youth and community work, and was based in Birmingham for 32 years. I'm now based down in Devon. I've been here for 4 years. When I was in Birmingham, I developed a charity called One Small Barking Dog, which grew out of work I was doing in a particular church, supporting young people that wanted to do kind of creative things and particularly make films. And that grew into a fully fledged kind of media charity. And then out of that, I also developed several years later a film company called Blue Hippo Media, and then went on to make several feature-length films. But the thing that's always run through is about mentoring and developing and working alongside young emerging filmmakers. And also just that whole engagement piece around film.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, the project that we're helping in our small way with through our patron scheme is you're looking to start a film festival in Exmouth. I wonder if you could just fill us in on that. What's the plan? How's that coming along?
So Exmouth in Devon is where we're now based, which it's actually the largest town in Devon. It's about 47,000 people. Beautiful place based down here by the sea on the end of the Exeter, just sort of 10 miles down the road from Exeter. So it's a fantastically sort of positioned place. It's never had a film festival. We are, myself and my wife, Debbie, we've always been, I suppose, to some degree, kind of community builders. We've always had an eye for, how we can get to know different disparate groups of people, how we can network people, how we can try and enable things to happen. I guess we'd call it that kind of kingdom work where you're just enabling life to happen in all sorts of different places. And we just thought it was actually chatting to the arts manager down here and a few other people. A film festival could work really well in a place like this on a number of different levels to sort of be a conduit that brings some people together that would like to, be involved in something like that. Bring together a number of different entities like the local independent cinema and other places that could act as venues. Obviously, we would want to have some kind of young people, emerging filmmaker strand that sits within there. But it would very much be a cultural festival for the town and wider and beyond. It's not necessarily a festival that's about, send us in your film and there'll be prizes. It's more of a kind of a cultural, curated experience where people can engage with film and be, kind of encounter things that maybe they wouldn't normally encounter. They get to meet filmmakers, have Q&As, have panels, have all sorts of interesting, disparate kind of creative events that sit around it. So it's very much kind of community building, really, through the idea of what a film festival could be. We're aiming to do the first one sort of around about the third weekend in November this year.
Great.
So we're doing a lot of the groundwork at the moment. In fact, actually next week, I'm meeting with the cinema and talking to them about how that might work. I've talked to someone else about where it might work as a kind of festival hub. We're probably going to run it over 3 days to begin with as a bit of a pilot.
Great.
We're going to be working with the local community school down here. Again, because of the complexities of these sorts of places, the community school here in Exmouth is the third largest school in Europe. It's over 2,000 pupils.
Wow.
So it's a huge sort of thing. So, and we're already engaged in another project that we've been launching, a kind of a survey of young people in the town, and we're working alongside the school doing that as well. So we're going to get involved with the school and maybe have some aspects within the festival that are around developing and enabling young people, maybe getting them a short film competition, 2 minutes or something that then can all be screened, etc. People get invited to it. It's a whole bunch of different things, but it's very much community building.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, obviously, and we've worked together on a number of things over the years, and you'd know this, that as Sputnik, we believe the arts are valuable for society generally. But for you, involvement in film, I know you're very passionate about film. What do you think film specifically gives, and why do you plough so much time into film? What do you think film adds to culture, and even we could say, what kind of spiritual value does film have, even if it's maybe not on the films themselves and not on what you'd normally associate as being Christian content in that way? What is it about film, Pip?
Well, I think films in their best essence are stories. They're from every type of genre, from fly on the wall to fully fledged, theatrical pieces. They're stories. They're windows in on lives, on people, on real things or invented things, but have something, that feel like there's a kind of universal commonality within those things. I think you can't point a camera at anything and not hit God, because for me,
Brilliant.
the kingdom, the God, everything is everywhere. It's imbued in everything that's around us. So I think for me, just film is something very similar to music. There is always, to some extent, some kind of emotional response connection to film, like there is to music. And that will differ because people have different tastes and different things speak in different ways to people. So I think for something like a film festival, if we can curate films that, inspire, make people laugh, make people perhaps cry, make people think about themselves, think about the world around them, then I think that's a really great thing. I just think that is something that films do. And it's a really powerful part of our kind of creative culture that we live in.
Brilliant. Yeah, really good. Well, Pip, it's been great catching up. One final thing is, if any filmmakers, particularly young filmmakers, are watching, how could they get involved in what you're doing?
Well, the simplest way to do that is the charity One Small Barking Dog, which is osbd.org. Yeah, osbd.org. Just go to the website. There's a thing in there called ITF, in the frame. And we've been building for a while a kind of online community, free, completely free, loads and loads of free resources in there as well, including video podcasts with people the likes of Lewis Arnold, who just his drama Time just got 2 BAFTAs the other day. So they can connect through there, but they can also email me. I'm very up for people just getting in touch and telling me about who they are and their journey and their story, and maybe there's a way that we can support, help develop. We also will be later in this year launching our first ever development fund, an actual, pretty sizable fund of money that we can use towards helping young people make their films as well.
Magnificent. As always, Mr. Piper, an absolute pleasure. I'm really looking forward to hearing how the film festival goes. See you later.
Thanks.